Do you feel like you're chasing after people all the time to grow your coaching business? Like you're chasing people on social media, asking them to accept your friend request? Chasing after people to get them to come to a presentation where you share with them your coaching program? Chasing after people, asking them to have a strategy session with you? All this chasing and chasing, it can get rather exhausting, don't you think? Well, let's talk about another way of approaching your marketing, one that's not so exhausting for you. I'm Laura Lee Humphreys, and in this episode of Faces of Freedom TV, I'm going to be sharing with you a fundamental shift that you can make in your mindset and how you approach your activities for marketing so that it can be a much more of a smooth, relaxed, and comfortable experience for you and feel much more natural to you. So stick around, because making this fundamental shift in how you approach your marketing can make it a lot smoother, and for people to be coming to you ready to give you their money rather than you trying to pry it out of them. All of this so that you can create a life you love through a home business lifestyle. So let's look at two fundamental ways of being, doing things, and thinking. Two different types of energies that exist in all of nature, everywhere, and including you and your business. So we are all familiar with the concept of yin and yang, two opposites, up and down, night and day, masculine and feminine, yin and yang. So what does this have to do with business? Well, a yang approach to marketing would be much more outwardly focused. It tends to be more masculine, you could call it that. It's all about pushing, chasing, going after, dominating. It's a bit more aggressive, and it can turn into something much more competitive, where this win-lose mindset that we so often run into in business. And even this idea that there can be only one person at the top or that's best. So that can be much more of a masculine. And a lot of marketing and business building techniques that we are taught are couched in or rooted in a more masculine way of doing things, or a more yin or yang, outwardly more aggressive approach. Then we have the other side. We have the yin way of being. Yin consciousness, energy, thought processes, way of being. This is much more receptive. It's more calmer. It tends to be more introverted, and it's much more slower. It's not as pushing. It's more receiving. So how does this affect your marketing? Well, I'll explain to you with this metaphor. Are you a flower, or are you the honeybee? Let's look at the flower, a flowering bush. It's very rooted deep within the earth, where it gets its sustenance from the soil and the minerals and moisture it pulls up from the earth. So it just stands very still, strong, and stable in its place, rooted in its place, receiving the sunlight. And every morning, the flower bush opens up all of its flowers. The aroma of the flowers go out wafting on the air, and all of the bees are attracted to all of the flowers. They come over and check out the flowers, they get the nectar, they do their little bee thing all day long. They're very attracted to the flowers, and they stay there. Night comes, the flowers in the flower bush close up, the bees go back to their hive. During the night, then the bush rests and rejuvenates for the next day when the sun comes out, and repeat it all over again. So, how are you doing your marketing? Are you the bush, or are you the bee? Are you the bush, meaning that you stand where you're at, comfortable and confident in your value and your worth, and what it is you have to share with people, what your message is? And so you just have a lot of different places where people can find you, which are your flowers on your flowering bush. And the quality of what you're sharing with people is very sweet. It's like nectar. It's that, like the aroma or the fragrance of the flower that attracts and draws all the bees or all the people to you. So for example, you've got places on social media everywhere where you can be posting your content, blog posts, videos, graphics with an opt-in link, going to an opt-in page where people can receive a freebie download from you, and then they get on your email list. So everywhere you have these flowering bushes with this inspiring, attractive aroma of curiosity and interest that draws people to you. And so all of the bees come check you out, going from one flower to the next, checking out all of your content. And so when it's ready for you to, it's time for you to make an offer, you've got this audience of devoted bees flying around, buzzing around all of your flowers. And so you just make the offer and say, this is what I'm doing. Take it or leave it. If you like it, here it is. And because the bees have been buzzing around in your flowers and sucking on your nectar for a while, and the pollen in your flowers, they know you, they're comfortable, and it's very easy and like a non-issue for them to purchase whatever it is that you're offering. You don't have to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and chasing after. So rather than coming at it from a more masculine or yang approach where you're pushing and being more aggressive and chasing after, like the bees going from one bush to the next to the next to the next, learn how to find your own center and your rootedness in the earth, caring for yourself, knowing what you have to offer, knowing that people want it and it's valuable. Stand strong in that, in the way that the bush is very strong and rooted in its branches and its trunk, to then support all of these flowers all over your bush. So look at how you have been doing your marketing and see if there's ways in which you can adjust or tweak it to make it much more of an attractive thing, more following the concepts of attraction marketing, especially if you as a person, your natural, more comfortable, innate way of being is more of a yin essence as opposed to a yang essence. It's very important that you're congruent with who you are, your essence, the way you naturally like to show up and function and do things in the world, and building your business according to that, rather than trying to do all these other activities and modes and protocols that innately feel very unnatural to you because they're more of a yang essence, when your beingness is more of a yin essence. So if you're trying to push and shove and do something that's not innately natural to you, then it's much more difficult for prosperity to come because there's an incongruency there. And with that, I also would like to add a caveat that it's not an excuse to fall back on to say, I don't have to learn this skill because it's not natural for me. It's not about that at all. You still have to learn the skills, go through the motions of learning how to do copy, learning how to promote, learning how to speak, learning how to coach well. All of that stuff is still there in the picture. It's just your approach and how you do it is coming from a more yin way of being, more yin way of consciousness or energy, because that's congruent with who you are as a spiritual being, the core, your essence of you, as opposed to doing something that's more yang if that's not in alignment to who you really are. However, if you are more yang, and that's what feels the most natural and comfortable to you, then by all means, follow that route. Okay, so just make that distinction of recognizing how you are innately, and if you are really the flowering bush, don't try to be the bee. Be the bush and shine and open your flowers and let the aroma go out into the world. And also another thing with this is that notice how at the end of the day when the sun goes down, the flowers close up and the bush rejuvenates itself. So you can equate that to, at the end of the day, make sure that you are taking care of yourself, closing up shop when the sun goes down, and having a balanced life between your relationships, your self-care, your activities, your recreation, your family, so that you don't exhaust yourself and burn out because you've become imbalanced. Again, it's all about maintaining you in a way that expresses you in all areas of your life. So be the aromatic flower bush while also taking care of yourself. So a lot of this goes along the lines of attraction marketing principles, which I teach and which I talk a lot about in my social media posts, my website, blog here, and on these videos. So if you'd like to learn more about social media marketing, you're in for a treat. As with all of my videos, I have a downloadable resource guide or training that you can take advantage of, and this week is obviously no exception. So what I'm offering you is a free complimentary webinar training on how to do Instagram in a way that can get you up and running very quickly for getting leads, growing an audience, getting followers, letting people know what you do. So you can apply the yin principles of attraction marketing, of being the flower bush, by putting together, creating your robust, colorful Instagram profile and account so that people can come there and get to know you and enjoy your offerings. So grab that training. It's at the link here with the video and with my blog, and enjoy that. Let me know how it works for you and what you learned, what you like best about that training. Okay. So did you find value in this video? Which do you feel that you most innately are? More of a yang essence or a yin essence? And if so, is there some adjustments that you need to do with your marketing and how you approach your business so that it's more in alignment with your innate natural way of functioning and operating in the world as a yin essence, as a spiritual being who is more polarized to the yin end of the spectrum of energy and consciousness? So I'd love to hear from you. What did you like most about this video? Where do you feel like you fit as far as the yin and yang spectrum? And share this video, like it, subscribe to my channel. Every week I drop a new video with tips and resources and mindset things, marketing things that you can apply to help you create a life that you love through home business lifestyle. So if you like this video, you can also find more. And you can follow me on my website, lauraleehumphreys.com. You can subscribe there and receive a lot more of my updates of things that I'm doing. You can also find me on social media, on Facebook, under my name, Laura Lee Humphreys. And you can find me on Instagram under my name, Laura Lee Humphreys. So until next time, enjoy being your aromatic flowering bush that you are, to attract all of the bees, all of the customers and people who are looking for and who would love your services and what you have to share. Okay. So until next time, take care.